Hello, I'm Ryan, and I'm drinking a lot. It's just a water chaser after an iced tea. So don't call AAA on me. AAA? Don't call AAA on me. You know, So, hi, I'm Rowan, and, well, the other day we were making a video about the Nexigo N60 webcam, and we were going to talk about some of its oddities and problems and how to fix them, and then we realized we were making the wrong video. What we really should have been doing is making a video about how to get your web camera to work properly in general, and specifically about adjusting your web camera and making it actually work with Windows 11. Now, I'm not sure, because we really weren't doing a lot of stuff with webcams when we were working with Windows 10. Or at least it seems to be like a little dream that has gone away so far away that we can't remember any of the blessed details of that wonderful dream. Instead, we have to deal with Windows 11 in our reality. We have forgotten about how we did stuff then. And this is going to be kind of an eye-opener, because Microsoft has been going through a lot of efforts to update its interface and control panels and all that stuff. And of course, your webcam's going to be one of those things that suddenly stops working and starts working, and then stops working, and then it starts working in a way that you're not aware of. And that's what happened to us, because while we were in the Nexigo video making phase, we found out that settings that we were setting for our web cameras were not sticking, and resetting them actually didn't work because they went back to a set of settings that made no sense. And so then we had to do some digging, and we did some Reddit searches and some searches on OBS forums and stuff like that. And so as it turns out, what's really going on here is that there are at least 2 and sometimes 3 ways to configure the settings for your web camera. Now, because we use OBS a lot, our main way is to go into the video source and, bring stuff up in there. And, so like we would right click on Nexigo, for example, in our video camera sources, and then we would go to properties, and then we would go to configure the video. I'm sure you've done this many times if you're here wondering why the heck it isn't working anymore. And of course, when you did the configure video, you'd get this little archaic looking white property screen where you can change things. I'm going to try showing you this now. Okay, so the fellow wearing blue is, of course, Mr. R, and we've done something to his face so that you don't see it anymore. And what have we got above him? Well, we have the very familiar properties item, which if you use OBS, the steps that I talked about will take you to this little archaic looking window here. And sometimes you'll have video, and then you'll have advanced settings or camera control or whatever. You'll have these tabs, and in them will be all of your configurations you can do for your camera. But with Windows 11 and the stuff that they're doing to update things, there's now a cameras item, and honestly, it was probably there in Windows 10 too. But there is a cameras option in Bluetooth devices now that if you click on it, you get a list of cameras, and then we're going to click on the Nexigo, and then we scroll down to this list of settings that are available on the Nexigo. And as you can see, it's kind of short. We have zoom, basic settings, zoom, pan, tilt, brightness, contrast, sharpness, and saturation. And then if we scroll all the way down here to advanced settings, it doesn't give us any more toggles. It talks about other things. But you can tell that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items there doesn't match all these. Doesn't match the 1, 2, 3, well, that one doesn't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12? Yeah, 13, 14, so many more. Yeah, so we're not quite sure what the deal is with Microsoft. Maybe they have some kind of limitation for how many things they can put in a menu, or, you know, they're still working on it, and hopefully they'll get out of this cookie cutter mode where everything has to fit within a certain space, and if it doesn't, we're just gonna chuck it because it's not that important. Well, it is that important when you're trying to configure your video. And yeah, so here we are. We're going to show you how to make this work, because obviously many of you have done work in this one over here, the ancient looking archaic white screen box, and then you've made changes like you know, like changing the brightness over there, and then you've hit apply. And now let's close our camera here, and you see that this other window, it updated somehow. I'm not sure what it did, but it did something, and the brightness is still in the middle. And if we go and open our camera back up, oh, look at that, it didn't keep our darkness that we set on purpose. So what's the deal with that? Let's let me do some configuration here again and get that window back up for you. So I clicked on the properties, and I click on the configure video, and there we go. Let me get that on the screen properly. There we are. So now we have our properties again, and our brightness is back up to neutral. Well, so what we found is that the majority of the time, if there is this over here and that over there, and it's duplicated, then the one that's going to actually work for you, the one that's going to keep you working, is the one that's in the Windows settings, not in the old properties. So if we adjust the brightness here, and then we go and, by the way, let's close that and close that, and then we turn off the Nexigo, and then we turn the Nexigo back on, it's kept the darkness. So the point is that if there is a control in the system setting, use it there and make your adjustments there. Now, when you run out of controls here, you need to go and get back over to the properties inside of OBS, and open up the configure video item to bring up this menu item. Now, this menu item is not actually part of OBS. OBS actually has a link to open up the original control panel that allowed you to change the properties for your device. And I think it was originally attached to Device Manager. And now if you go into Device Manager and you look for this thing here, it's not there. It's not there. Because they want you to use this other thing over here, even though it's not done yet. Thank you, Microsoft. But that's what you got to do. This is what you have to do. You have to do your basic settings over here that do show up. And then when you realize you need to do more stuff, come over to the old white menu over here and use it for all those weird things like, oh, I don't know, we like using 60 hertz instead of 50 hertz for our refresh rate. And, we like being able to do other things that like, oh, this is another one. So I think I mentioned that there are multiple things that are going on here. One of them is the exposure. Do you see that? What just happened here? We turned off the auto. We're going to close this, and then we're going to turn off the Mexico, turn it back on. Hello? I know I turned it on. There we go. And oh, look at that. We look normal again. I wonder why. I wonder what could have possibly happened here. This has got everything set to normal. Now, we're going to open up our settings again. Did I click on it? Yeah, here we are. And now we're going to go check our... Look at that. Ah, you can't see it, sorry. Look at that. Our exposure is set to auto again. Why? It's because Windows knows best. And in this case, it does sort of look nicer, doesn't it? Being able to see Mr. R without weird gradations happening. But there's going to be times when you want to change something and it doesn't work. And you need to turn off some automatic setting that should have been kept off in the first place. Yay. Now we're going to turn off our Mexico item again, and we're going to turn it back on. And well, looks like it's behaving, but let's close the OBS preferences and turn that off and turn it back on. And oh, Windows has overridden our preferences. In this case, it's a good thing. Yeah, it's a reasonable thing. There's lag issues too, which I haven't talked about here, and I'm not really going to get into, but this is kind of daddy knows best, and we hate this because there are times when you're going to want to turn things off, and you'll find out in the other video. But for now, just understand that there are multiple locations you need to go to change your settings. Now, we mentioned there was a possible third one too, right? Well, the Mexico webcam has got software you can download. The majority of the reason why you would download and run it is because it actually has an updated driver that gets rid of some of the latency issues that are in the Mexico webcam. We won't be going over that in this video because we've really reached the end of this one. And I do hope that even though, Even though Microsoft is doing dumb things and those are never enjoyable, I hope you enjoyed being here with me, and I hope it was educational and informative and, a little bit entertaining. And I hope that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever time it is, that you're having a great time. And I hope to see you again next time. So until then, bye.